Hello everybody, welcome to the Claw and the King podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Dopey. Great to see you again, my friend. Long time no see. How have you been?
I've been great. It's good to be back.
It's good to be
back
back
at home.
Oh yeah, this
Exciting
is our
times.
second home. This is our literal heaven.
Yeah, there's like a little pop-up bed set up for me on the floor, just off camera.
Yeah, look, doesn't correlate to the podcast, but that's by the by. Anyway, moving on to the sporting aspect. Have you been keeping up with much sport? Obviously, as we talk, we said on previous podcasts, not big for the NBA scene at the moment, but there are other sports sort of kicking off and getting into gear. Have you sort of kept your eye open for anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously NRL is probably the main one at the moment that I'm into. Final season coming up. I mean, Premier League just started. Obviously, I'm not watching the games. Like, who would do that? But
come on, United's at
keeping up
9:30
with-
tonight. Surely.
Yeah, I mean that's doable. But I don't have Optus Sport, so
It's criminal. It's criminal.
they should. Why is it not on Fox or something?
Get Optus. Why don't you have Optus?
I'm not paying for a cell provider just to watch football.
Yeah, but you already have a cell provider, so why don't you just switch to Optus?
Because I don't want to pay for it.
But why doesn't your family switch to Optus? Why haven't you convinced your family to get on?
Well,
the
I
Optus
actually do
bandwagon?
need to pay for one because my mum's like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Get your own. So
Wow, that's tough.
Now
Why has she done that?
I think she probably just thinks it's time that I be an adult and do it myself.
That's bullshit, man. We're still kids.
Sucks.
Anyway, thank God that's not me. So yeah, essentially football's kicking off. We might as well start with that. Kicked off last week. Manchester United getting up, first game of the season. Not the most exciting game, I would say. 1-1-0, won it in the 85th minute or something with the new guy. Xerxes. Cool name.
It is. I feel like we're mispronouncing it, but I guess that's...
No, I saw him, like a video of him pronouncing it. It's literally Xerxes. There's no like sort of, weird shit going on there, which is good to hear. Good to hear. But anyway, the game, I thought we were in control. I think we deserved to win most of the game. Because I didn't think
I saw a couple of like really bad missed chances. Was Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno missed a couple. I thought he played well overall, but yeah, the finishing wasn't great. Rashford again missed absolute
Garnacho?
sisters. Garnacho
Yeah, bad
missed. But I mean, we'd already won the game at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was absolute criminal of a miss. I don't know. Still don't know how he missed it. But I thought overall, it was a really solid performance, and that's what you want to start off with. Start off a new campaign. Now, I'm not getting too overhyped with it. I think in previous years, we've had great sort of starts and we've had sort of great opening results, and then it's gone to tits up. And then some years we've had a terrible one, and then we've done okay. Like, I think first year under Ten Hag, we got absolutely spanked first game of the season.
Was it 4-0 to Brentford? Something like that?
I think so. I don't know if that was either first or second game, but I know it was really early on. And then we ended up having an okay season, a top four, and played pretty well throughout the majority of that season. So I'm not too sort of optimistic at this point. I thought, look, the defence looked strong. Martinez looked good. It's good to have De Ligt that we've brought in, and he came off the bench in that game.
Who started?
So I think it was it Maguire? I think it was Maguire.
Bro, Maguire's still in the mix.
Not really anymore. I don't think he is. I think he's in the mix, but I don't think he's ever going to be starting in the mix for a fully.
How much are we paying him?
A lot of money. He's on probably like 200 grand a week. Jesus. But no, Mazraoui started right back. The new guy, great player. Looked unreal in that game, and yeah, hopefully he can sort of be a good rotational piece, especially if you're going to be playing both right back and left back for him. Delo played okay. Casemiro, I thought, played well, which is good to see. I think we've been trying to offload him for most of the season, of the off season. But if he's sort of back to his form, I think last year the problem with Casemiro was how open we were. We were so open in that midfield, and he just got lost. I think at this age, if he's in sort of controlled in a slower environment, a slower pace, he's actually very good. He's still a very good player. Still can, be very clinical in terms of scoring as well as sort of that tackling that he has. So that's good to see that he's still in some decent nick, and hopefully it sort of continues. But yeah, I thought overall controlled the game, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one. We got Brighton tonight, so that's a tough one away from home. I think they won their opening game as well. So
yeah, I saw Sancho's. He's going to be gone again now.
Yeah, so
potentially.
that's the interesting thing as well. Sancho sort of rekindled his love with Eric Ten Hag. I don't know if they ever loved each other, but I think they've sort of they've rekindled it over the off season apparently. But yeah, he's looking elsewhere apparently.
Yeah, that's sad. The only guy I like on the team.
Really, he's been
No.
absolutely.
I know he's been
stinky.
shit. I just want him to do well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The problem is there's so many wingers. Like there's no chance.
The Premier League in general. I mean, the main story I've seen right now is Chelsea and their roster. How they have like 45 first team level players, and it's impossible to have a functioning roster with that level of talent.
What the manager said? Like in a press conference, he openly said that I don't talk to like 20 players because they're not in my team. Like I have a 25 man squad.
I think he's told Sterling and Chilwell you can get going.
Yeah, they don't train with the team. He doesn't talk to them. Like I think that's the complete wrong approach, and I think Chelsea's sort of owners are going, oof. We kind of.
But they keep signing players. They just got João Felix.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I have no clue. They have signed all these players, spent all this money, and they still don't have a good striker or a good goalkeeper. I just don't know what they're doing. Those are the two those are the clinical positions that you need in football that you spend a lot of money on. If you get those two positions right, you can fill the rest out. But they just still have it. They bought Nicholas Jackson, who's crap, and they brought Robert Sanchez, who's crap. They've literally signed two of those players, for striker and goalkeeper, and yet they've signed 20 wingers. It doesn't make any sense.
It's gonna be interesting who they do play because there's no way that everyone's gonna be happy sitting on the bench every week.
No,
and there's gonna be like high level big name players sitting on the bench every week at Chelsea. And then, but what happened? What happened to Mendy? He was good, wasn't he? Didn't he have like one good year? Yeah.
God, he's been gone 3 years. He's not even there.
Oh yeah.
He was good in the Champions League in 2021.
Right.
It's 3 years later. He's gone.
Okay. What about Kepa?
I still think he's there. I don't know what he's going. I think he's like the third string goalkeeper. I don't know what they literally have. Like 5 backup goalkeepers. I just don't get it. It's so weird, really weird.
Because is there any limit on squad numbers?
I have no idea. I know there's obviously a limit on how much you can spend in sort of relative to how much you make, but I have zero idea. Absolutely no idea. Surely they must be pushing it at this point. I mean, you can't have this many players. There's no cohesion.
Have you seen the memes of Chelsea players rocking up to the gym and there's like 1,000 people in there like fighting over a dumbbell?
To be fair, it's probably like a touring. It's a small gym.
Yeah.
But the fact is, they literally don't have enough machines for each person. There's like 40 machines in there, and there's 50 people. Like it's crazy. They're like sharing like dumbbells. It's mental. But yeah, Chelsea obviously lost the opening game of the season. Not the best for them, but look, they played a really tough team in Man City, so can't expect.
Yeah, City looking good again.
Yeah.
Can anyone beat them? That's probably the question everyone's asking.
I would think Arsenal could beat them, and then Man City signed Gundogan back, and then I'm like, no, there's no chance.
Is he still that good?
I rate him really highly. I think he's unreal. He went to Barcelona last year. Not actually too sure how he went on there. I mean, I don't really keep up with Barcelona, but I think they had to sell him essentially because they wanted to bring in Dani Olmo, and Barcelona are just weird. They have no money.
But it was a free to City.
Yeah, but it's the wage to register the player. So in order to register the player, they have to get clear all these wages because they've got no money, and they're just borrowing so much money. It's crazy. But yeah, essentially Gundogan going back to Man City is disaster for the rest of the league apparently.
Right.
I don't hate it too much because I'd rather City win than Arsenal. I've said this many times, but
they've won 5 years in a row, I think. So
four. Yeah, it's what it is. They're cheaters at the end of the day. You just got to live with it. Did you catch any other games from the Premier League opening week?
What else happened? Liverpool won, right?
Yeah, against Ipswich. They looked really dodgy first half against Ipswich, and then second half it was just a different in quality. Ipswich were poor, really poor.
I saw all the Ed Sheeran things. I think he's the sponsor on the jersey.
Yeah.
The plus minus divide times thing, whatever his thing is.
I like that. A lot of people hate on that sponsor. I actually don't think it's that bad.
Well, it's better than like some of the crypto ones, but that can't be helped, I guess.
Yeah. Tottenham drew last game of the round against Leicester. Jamie Vardy's back to his old age. Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, I do know Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
I saw him. He was chatting shit with the crowd.
Yeah, he was unreal. Obviously scored that goal, the equaliser, and Spurs look dodgy already, which is not great for them.
They just don't. I mean, again, I'm casual, so I don't know, but it doesn't seem like they've got any good players really, except Son. Like any big name players.
I don't hate the signings that they've made this season, but they haven't made too many. I think they've made not a lot of, but a couple of under the radar ones. And I think they are still sort of crying out. They brought Solanke for a lot of money, like 60 million, which is a bit mental.
Solanke.
Yeah, for Solanke.
Is he good?
No, he was good at Bournemouth last year, but
I feel like they're normally a team that have these young superstars like Bale, Modric, these types of guys back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've got these players at the moment.
I think that's their sort of strategy overall. I think they know that they're not going to attract the best, like the creme de la creme of talents, because Chelsea, United, City, Liverpool will pick up those guys up. But I still think that they try and do their best and try and recruit young players that are talented. They bought a player from Leeds who's really talented in, I think, Archie Gray. So we'll see what happens with them. I think, they just, if you look at the squad, it's just screaming fifth. It's just every season for them, it just screams fifth. And it never, ever sort of seems like that. I mean, a couple of years under Kane, maybe, and Poch, you thought, okay, they got Dele Alli, they got Kane, they got Son, they got Dembele in the middle. They've got some really good players there, and they could sort of push for a title. But now it's just every season seems like they're coming fifth, and they're just going to be getting fifth. There's no...
But didn't Ange say he wins every second year he does or something?
He's not winning.
Or is that
he could win the Carabao Cup or like the FA Cup, but he's not winning anything else. He's not actually competing for the Premier League or...
You never know.
I do know that's not happening. But yeah, they looked a bit dodgy. I think it was classic Spurs. They played well for 60 minutes and then they played that bad the last 30 minutes. They probably should have lost. It's classic Spurs from them, so not the best. But anyway, some news in the transfer world for United at least. We're looking at Ugarte. Have you heard of a Ugarte?
A Ugarte?
A Ugarte.
What is a Ugarte?
A Ugarte is a centre defensive midfielder.
Right.
Plays for PSG. He's been linked to us for quite a while. And apparently...
Is he Ghanaian?
No. He's a Uruguayan.
A Uruguayan?
Yeah.
I did not see that with Ugarte.
Why is that?
Just did not sound Uruguayan to me.
What did it sound?
It sounded African.
Right. Why does it sound African?
Does Ugarte not sound African?
No. Sounds Uruguayan.
Does it?
Yeah. Completely normal Uruguayan name.
Right, okay.
But yeah, plays for PSG, been linked to us for a while. Really talented player, but has sort of been on the outskirt of their team for a while. Very similar to Casemiro in terms of his mould, which I don't love. He's a defensive first kind of guy, not sort of as developed as a passer. I think that's probably what we need. But again, I think that middle of the park, we do need a bit of bite to it as well.
What
so
about
I don't hate
Kobe?
Cobby.
Is it Cobby?
It's Cobby. Yeah, I think he can play well with Cobby. That's why I like it. I think long term, if you're replacing that Casemiro kind of guy, then him and Cobby and maybe I don't know who you're thinking long term.
Surely you would call yourself Kobe.
But it's not spelt like Kobe.
Is it Kobie?
No.
What is it?
Kobbie.
Oh.
So it's Cobby. Double B. You can't do a
Cobby.
Can't do a Cobe if it's double B.
Cobby, that's just a bit of a weak name, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like in an English accent though it's better. It's like
maybe.
Cobby.
Come here, Cobby.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
What about Mainu?
Mainu's alright.
Okay, well...
Kobe Mainu sounds way better.
Well, you can call him Kobe if you want. I'm sure he won't. I know he's an avid listener to the podcast, so he might get a bit offended.
People do not like when you mispronounce their names these days.
Who's people?
Just NRL players.
What NRL players do you mispronounce?
Like Suwali,
Who else?
Papali.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I think that's just because it's pronounced different in their culture.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
you should be more appreciative. Of
No,
what
I'll
people's
call them what
culture.
they want to be called.
Yeah, but you don't believe.
I'm
that
just
that's
saying,
how-
if someone called me Symes, I'd be okay with it.
but it's not how your name's spelled. I think
I
it's
know, but-
different. It's different. We're very white people, so it's very different for us. We're we don't have a culture white people famously. So
No,
but yeah, anyway.
very boring stuff.
So, do you have anything sort of that you're looking forward to from a footballing perspective? Have you sort of eyed anything up in terms of watching any games or looking out for anything? Have you learnt anything from Twitter or
If I've
social
learnt
media in
anything,
general? I'm trying to gauge you.
not really.
I mean, you're wearing a Man United shirt right now.
Yeah,
But you seem like you have no idea what's going on.
I know they won.
Yeah.
And
did you know what the score was prior to today?
yeah, I did.
Did you know who scored prior to today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, fair.
Yes. So I saw the Real Madrid drew. So there could be frauds.
I highly doubt it. They are an unreal team. That team is ridiculous, by the way. That is the craziest fucking team I've ever seen. Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo. I mean, what the fuck is that? Valverde,
Modric,
Rudiger, Alaba,
Carvajal still kicking.
Courtois. It's just silly.
It's always Real Madrid always have a
Eder
team like that though.
Militao,
Camavinga,
Camavinga,
Tchouaméni.
Chouameni.
Look at that ball knowledge.
Look at that ball knowledge. Watch the World Cup. Yeah. Oh, unreal team. I don't know how they don't win Champo this year, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think that's football sort of wrapped up. Did you want to move on to UFC or?
Yeah, we can chat some UFC. The obviously the last main pay-per-view was in Australia in Perth last weekend.
Big boy won.
Yep, the main event, Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Thankfully, du Plessis won. It would have been very disappointing if Adesanya won.
Really? You don't want Adesanya to win?
No, he's so cringe. I just really don't like him.
He's Australian.
He's not Australian.
He's New Zealand.
He's New Zealand, and he'll tell you he's Chinese.
Come on, bro. You can't be saying that.
He said it, not me.
He's not Chinese. He's Nigerian / New Zealander
/
American.
Chinese.
No, he's not Chinese.
He's a multicultural man, we'll say that.
Look, he's been to many cultures. He's experienced many tastes. What can you say? He's a very good fighter. Don't you want the big fighters on the big stage?
No. He's he's more than likely a roid cheat. He's...
What? You can't... Allegedly.
Yeah, I said more than likely. That's not guaranteed. So, close enough to alleged. But yeah, he's a great striker. But he's just... He's been proven to be...
Or?
He's been proven... No, he's more of a left back. He's more of a left back. Very points central. He doesn't go for the big shots, doesn't take any risks. He's a safe sort of player.
I don't think he's safe. I think he's like an Anderson Silva. Like he fights up or down to whoever he's fighting.
Yeah, maybe you could say that. But it's
is that good ball? That
is kind of knowledge, yeah.
Knowledge.
So, but it's interesting because UFC fighters are really good when they're on their undefeated run, and when they lose, it is almost catastrophic to their career. You very rarely see someone who goes on a massive streak lose the title, come back and have another dominant run. We've just seen in this generation, Usman, once he lost, he's been cooked. I think he's 1-4 or 1-3 in his last 4. Volk, same thing, 1-3 in his last 4, and now Izzy is 1-3 in his last 4. It's just crazy how much one loss just derails your entire career. And because du Plessis is a very weird fighter, he looks terrible. It looks like he has no idea what he's doing, but he just somehow wins every fight. So
great strategy.
Yeah, I think he's just so bad that he's good.
What does that even mean though? How is he good?
Well, he's good because he's winning. I mean, he knocked out Whittaker, he beat Strickland, and now he submitted Adesanya.
Well, yeah. Apparently, he was. I didn't watch it, but was he losing the fight?
No, it was close. Like Adesanya, it was 2-1 either way going into the fourth. So Adesanya looked good, but like it was a competitive fight. So yeah, but now it's an interesting one for Adesanya. He's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and he's gonna have to go back and fight a contender if he doesn't want to retire, which he did. He's just so cringe. He faked in the post-fight interview that he was going to retire. He took the gloves off, started talking about, I started my journey here, so it's only right that I
don't think he's fake doing that.
He did, mate. He faked it. And then he was like, I'm not fucking leaving. Like, he just punked everyone. Everyone thought he was going to retire. The cringest thing I've ever seen.
You really seem to like this guy. He's really just get on your good side.
I mean, well, he just thinks he's an anime character.
What if he is?
Well, then I'm mistaken. But until proven otherwise, I'm going to go with my opinion. So, yeah, and but it'll be weird to see him fight maybe he's not going to fight on a fight night, but on a pay-per-view undercard against the 6th ranked middleweight or something.
There's no shot that Dana does that, though.
He can't get another title shot.
I don't think you get a title shot, but he'll get like a Strickland or a Rob Whittaker. You don't think Dana's licking his chops right now for thinking about a Rob Whittaker Israel Adesanya fight?
Hell no. Whittaker's booked against Hamzat again. They have done him so dirty.
Yeah, I did actually hear Duplessis talk about it in the post-fight.
They've just given Strickland the shot for sitting on his ass doing nothing while Rob's beaten 2 guys.
Well, look, if I play devil's advocate here, he has lost multiple times
Rob.
at a title shot.
Only to Izzy, and then he lost to Duplessis.
Yeah.
But Strickland just lost to Duplessis. And he got knocked out by Pereira.
Yeah, look, I think Rob should have gotten a shot, but I think it's also a bit tough. I think they just think...
It's just because Strickland's a PR machine right now, so...
Yeah.
They give him the shot.
But yeah, so Rob's fighting Hamzat.
Yeah.
Is that actually going to happen, or...?
Probably not. Which is... Apparently Rob asked for it, which is just career suicide, mate. You're in such a good position. You've asked for Hamzat. Like, what are you doing? Because Hamzat obviously pulled out of the last fight. Rob knocks the guy out in the first round that steps up. Puts him in a great position, and now he's gone back to fight Hamzat, who again is ranked 10th or something. So he has to get a title shot if he wins. I mean, he has to. But if he loses, he's screwed. So it's a very, very tough fight. If he just waited a bit, he probably could have gotten an Adesanya fight now. But, you live and die by the sword.
Yeah, look, it happens. Fair play to Robbie. I think it's going to be, look, if he could win the title eventually, it'd be an all-time story, but it could just be like the Uriah Faber kind of deal.
It could, but he has already been champion. Uriah Faber never was champion. So
he was interim champion.
Yeah, but then he got promoted to full champion.
Promoted?
Because GSP retired.
Is that a way to win a belt? Is that you've got to defend your belt? Come on, you can't get promoted.
He did defend his interim belt.
You can't get promoted to
That's how it works.
No.
Mate, when John Jones retires, Aspinall's going to get promoted.
Yeah, but it won't be real until he's defended it and won it.
Well, the history says he was champion, so...
Okay, look, you can go by that history, but I think most people consider Rob to not have won. Yeah.
Well, I think most of them consider he has.
Okay.
I mean,
maybe that's just a casual
he's lost to Adesanya, but that is what it is, Adesanya just had a bee in his bonnet for that fight and decided to be really good, so... But yeah, looking back on Adesanya's career, I do think it's aged poorly, you could say, his career.
Has it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the Rob fight was insane, very good. The Gastelum fight was very good. But then you go, shit performance against Cannonier, shit performance against Vittori, shit performance against Romero, loses to Strickland, loses to Pereira, loses to Duplessis, has the really good performance against Pereira. But in its totality, it's really not an all-time sort of streak.
But he's also fought the best. I think it's tough to sort of half.
Yeah, but when you're comparing him to like John Jones was finishing the best every time.
No one compares him to John Jones. I think people compare him to
or to Anderson
one of the
Silva.
better modern fighters and modern champions, but I don't think he's anywhere close to that sort of level. I think everyone can sort of recognize. I think he's a great fighter, but he does have his flaws. Like, he does play down to his. He does create a ball machine every once in a while. So I think there are definitely flaws in his game, but he does have that sort of. I know you don't think I know you don't like him, but he does have like a not an aura about him, but he does have
He's
charisma.
got a negative aura.
He's got charisma.
Charisma.
He has a level of like you want to watch him fight. Like he's not fucking Bilal Muhammad. Like you want to watch him.
Yeah, you want to watch him. So that's good, I guess.
Even though he's had boring fights.
Yeah. Yeah, Bilal Muhammad is a UFC champion. That is insane. Wow. I wonder who he's going to fight next.
Well, who's up to fight him next?
They'll probably do like 50,000 buys.
Well, who's he going to fight? Who's up next?
There is no clear guy. There's Shavkat Rakhmonov. He probably you'd want him to have one more fight. There's Jack Della Maddalena, the Aussie. He's in the mix. But there's Leon
rematch?
He doesn't deserve a rematch, but by virtue of the fact that there is no one else really, he may get it. I don't know who else.
I don't think Leon Edwards deserves a rematch.
He defended the belt like one time.
Yeah, but he's still like Leon Edwards. Like he's still he still beat Kamaru Usman, who was sort of.
Yeah, but again, his performances have not aged well as well. I mean, when you look at...
No, you can't be saying that just because they lost.
No, I know. But the second Usman fight, the one where he won the belt, he did get destroyed and landed the head kick that obviously will live on infamously. Yeah. You can't say that wasn't a fluke.
You could say the same about Duplessis. I would say he was losing the fight to Izzy, but he
have you ever watched it?
But I heard from very knowledgeable people that he was losing the fight.
He wasn't losing it.
I think a lot of people considered that he was losing it.
Okay, not in this sort of situation. It's
different.
Situation.
But I think if you win a fight by knocking someone out in real life and in a fucking UFC octagon,
but it was still a fluke. And the second fight was a good performance against Usman, and then he loses to Bilal Muhammad. Oh no, he beat Colby as well, but that doesn't count. Jesus.
Colby Covington was regarded as the number 3 guy for how many years?
Yeah, but he looked so bad in that fight.
Leon Edwards beat Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, arguably 2 top 10 fight. No, not arguably, probably 2 top 10 fighters in the UFC pound for pound.
Usman, yeah, Colby, no, but
Usman was seen as a guy that was probably the hardest fighter to beat in the UFC.
At the time, yeah, he was pound for pound.
And he beat him twice.
1. He did.
And you're saying he doesn't deserve a rematch against Bilal Muhammad?
Yeah, because you don't deserve a rematch if you lose
to get his fight.
What, you don't want the Aussie to get his fight?
I don't give a fuck.
Wow, okay.
Jack
Okay, you are English, I guess. So.
Milena.
But you don't deserve a rematch if you lose to Bilal Muhammad in the first place. It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable.
Sometimes you lose.
You can't lose to Bilal Muhammad.
Sometimes you get headaches in the morning and you're just not ready for performance late at night. Sometimes it happens. You have bad days. Athletes have bad days.
Yeah, you can't have a day that bad.
You don't think LeBron's had a bad game here or there?
Yeah. And you know what happens? He gets crucified.
Yeah, and then the next day he plays well.
Yeah.
So maybe Leon just needs another shot.
When he loses to Golden State, he goes, "Hang on, guys, let's run that back. Let's have an automatic rematch." The
fact that you don't think Leon Edwards deserves a fight, it deserves a rematch, is crazy.
I don't think anyone thinks he does.
Why?
You automatic rematches are meant to be reserved for 5 title defense champions.
Oh, you're just listening to these fucking
or like extreme
MMA
situation,
guys.
Like robbery situations. You know?
Look, if it was a fucking stacked division, I'd agree with you. But you said it yourself, there's no one to fight. Why would he not get an automatic rematch?
It is a stacked division, though. It's just He
has the most legendary moment in... Well, I wouldn't say the most. That's a tough call to make. But arguably, definitely top 3 legendary moment inside of UFC and a UFC octagon.
I've got to be missing something.
Rocky.
Bilal Muhammad is the champion. Can't believe it. Leon, Usman, Shavkat, Colby, Colby Covington is ranked 4th. I don't think he's won a fight in 5 years. Ian Gary, I guess, is in the mix.
No. God, no.
Wow. Welterweight has kind of fallen off. A few years ago, it was probably the deepest division in the UFC.
Because of guys like Kamaru Usman and guys like Colby Covington, who, guess who beat them? Leon Edwards. 3 times.
Yes. But they're like 37.
They weren't then.
They were 35 maybe.
That's like 33 to like 35 is a prime for a UFC fighter.
35 is the cliff, essentially.
Kamaru Usman didn't lose in fucking 8 years or some shit. The guy was unreal.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Give him a rematch. If he loses again, just retire.
Well, I mean, that argument should go to fucking Rob Whittaker then. I mean, he lost.
No, he's not losing to
How many
Bilal
times did he lose
Muhammad.
to Izzy?
Well, once and once arguably.
So twice.
Yeah, but but it's Bilal Muhammad the reason for it being so bad.
You just said Izzy was trash.
No, I think Izzy is not one of the best of all time.
But you think he's good?
I think he's definitely good, yeah.
You think he's better than Bilal Muhammad?
Yes.
What? How could you say that, bro? That's great. But yeah, is it any other news? I mean, Connor's obviously not coming back. He looks like
he
was talking about Aspinall. I heard he was talking about Aspinall about like, oh no, Stipe and Jones is a fight to make.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cocaine does a lot of things to a man, and Connor is
allegedly
clearly impacted by this. It's sad times. Anyone that thinks Stipe and John Jones is a good idea has brain damage, unfortunately. So,
well, look, he's taking a lot of punches to the head. You don't know.
He has. So, yeah, he's not going to fight again, probably ever. Dana said, oh, yeah, he wants to fight like he does every fucking interview. And then...
Have you seen the memes? Sorry to pivot, but have you seen the memes of on TikTok of Dana White, like... just absolutely being a feed for John Jones.
Out of nowhere,
yeah.
Dana White has become the biggest John Jones glazer of all time.
Have you seen the video of like how they were doing like the unpacking of like all the cards, like the UFC like
oh yes,
he pulls out John. Oh my god, what a card!
It was like a basic card. He's like, wow, a John Jones card.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time.
And it was like, well, it all started when he like reacted to John Jones being ranked like number 3 in like the pound.
Yeah, even though he's fought once in 10 years.
He's like, that's crazy. Like, this can't happen.
Oh, how is Leon Edwards number 1? I mean, obviously Leon Edwards now nowhere near should be close to number 1, but yeah, John Jones, I think he's down at 8 or something now, so he's going to have
the guy is literally twerking for him so he can fight.
And it's so funny because around the era where John Jones was just coming back after his second DC suspension, I think, before he came back and fought Alexander Gustafsson, where he tested positive for roids again in the lead up to that fight, where they still let him compete by moving it to a different state. So around that time, he hated John Jones pretty much, although he was defending the positive test by saying, oh, it was a small amount, who cares? But he did hate John Jones in that sense around that time for obviously being a shit human. But now there's just been some sort of 180 where he's could not love him more. And it's really strange.
But it's like worse because at least then he was like trying to fight. Like now he's just like the biggest.
Well, I think it
ever.
is just I think it's just Dana's like, I don't know how else to get through to this guy, so I'm just going to try and be the most pro John Jones person I can in hope that he signs a contract to fight again.
Oh, Johnny.
But yeah,
Johnny Bones.
It's quite pathetic to watch, really, but...
Well, look, Dana does love a good glaze, to be fair. Connor in his prime, ultimate glaze. Maybe he just goes through periods where he has to have like one guy that he glazes. Like maybe there just is no one at the moment that he can, so it's just Johnny Jones.
It's just whatever his narrative. When they gave Colby the title shot against Leon, even though he hadn't fought in 4 years, he was glazing Colby that whole time. Like, this guy would be one of the greatest of all time if Kamaru Usman didn't exist. And everyone was like, bro, this guy hasn't beat a single ranked UFC welterweight, and you're giving him a 4th title shot after beating no one.
Yeah.
So he just has fighters that he must look at his list of fighters and go, you know what, I like you today, and then he just rides them.
I think it's, to be fair, I think it's driven by money. I think like it's driven by who's going to get, like he likes people that bring in crowds.
Well, yeah.
Like he's not a fucking Bilal Muhammad fan, is he?
No. You see that there was
he's not a Taporia fan.
There was some a meme that came out of someone asking him. He did like, you know, the wide autocomplete interviews.
Yeah,
he did one of those, and one of the questions was like, if you had to cut one UFC champion, who would it be? And it was just like, oh, I love all my champions, but Bilal Muhammad. And it was edited. And then he commented under it like, this is fake news bullshit. This is why I hate all the new media. It's like, relax, dude.
What do you think about? Obviously, come out recently, Taporia. Well, it's not recent, to be fair, but Taporia is sort of dodging Volk for a rematch. Now, we've talked about rematch with Leon Edwards. Do you, obviously, you're on the Volk train. Do you think the Volk deserves a Taporia rematch?
Honestly, that's hard as well to give a rematch to.
Wow.
If he didn't have the Islam losses, for sure.
Yeah.
But because he's now also lost 3 of his last 4 fights, it's kind of hard to give him a rematch.
What do you make of Taporia just dodging everyone in the top 15, according to Max Holloway?
Well, they're now fighting, so
yeah.
Hopefully Max wins, but yeah, it's a weird one. He obviously has a lot of confidence. He seems to only want to fight. You know, he was calling out Conor McGregor and all these big names, but yeah, it doesn't seem like he wants to fight anyone really. So, because if he doesn't fight anyone in his division, there's no one for him to fight. So it's a weird one. I also do think he's kind of trolling, just trying to be a dislikable guy to get attention. But yeah, he's obviously very good at fighting. So, but is he that good though? That's the question.
I think he's good. I just think he's cringe.
We don't know if Volk is washed. That's the issue.
Like, you can't beat a lovable guy and then just come off well. Like, you can't call out and like rub it in. Like, everyone loves Volk. And that's not like as an Australian saying that. That's literally everybody in the fighting community loves Volk. And he just like completely just fucking badmouthed him.
Well, it's crazy because Max and Volk are 2 of the most loved fighters, and you got to go up against both of them, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah, so I think it's tough for him, but it's also like, yeah, it's a tough sort of reputation to sort of. Like, Colby Covington was the bad guy, but I mean, he really didn't beat anyone that anyone liked. So, and no one really liked Kamaru Usman anyway because he was that.
And Colby was so shit at doing it that it was just funny.
But Taporia, you feel like it's a bit too much.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he changed his bio obviously before the fight to say UFC featherweight champion, whatever his record is, added the win already. So, you know, he's a confident guy.
Cringy though. A bit cringy.
It is a bit cringy, but you know, he's very good. I mean, he knocked out Volkanovski clean, so you can't really say too much about it. It's a scary time for Max because it's not a good matchup for Max, really, the way he struggles against really hard power hitters. We saw him struggle against Dustin, saw him struggle against Volk, so not a good matchup. The only thing that he has going for him is he has the best chin of all time, so it's tough. He's going to have to get into the later rounds if he wants to win.
What weight are they fighting at?
145.
They're fighting at... No, they're not fighting at featherweight.
Yeah, it's a featherweight title.
Oh, I thought... That's interesting.
What do you mean interesting?
I thought Holloway moved up.
Yeah, he did. To fight Gaethje.
Oh, okay.
But now he's moving back down.
He always weirds me out how he can fight at featherweight. Like, he's that tall. Like, it's just... It must be...
He's just really skinny.
Shit.
He does cut a lot of weight, but... Because I think he's 5'11", maybe? Yeah. Which is pretty tall for featherweight.
It's crazy tall. I mean, to be fair, the skinniest guy in the UFC is probably Sean O'Malley, but...
Yeah. So, and he's at bantamweight. But yeah, it's crazy how light they get. Like, I'm a skinny dude, and I right now weigh...
Yeah, but you're fat skinny, though. You're not, like, skinny. Like, I'm skinny. You've got a bit of chub on you.
Do I?
Pause. No, but your, like, legs are, like, thick. Like, you've got...
Yeah.
Like, you hold weight in certain areas. Like, just because you look skinny, just because you have no like muscle doesn't mean you're skinny.
But I am
not
skinny.
Sound offensive there.
But
you hold like what I'm saying is you hold weight in certain areas.
yeah, in my legs, but not up top. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is my weight currently is the middleweight limit. So
You're also 6'3".
I know, but still, when you think about how big, guys like Pereira, he was getting down to what I weigh currently.
Yeah, but they're all muscle. You're all like just you're no muscle. What I'm trying to like muscle.
Yeah, but they're so much bigger than me. So I'm saying it's crazy how they weigh what I weigh. Because I weigh not a lot for how tall I am.
Yeah. Well, Pereira was crazy to fight at middleweight or whatever he called out.
So these guys are really killing themselves essentially to make the weight. So if I was going in the UFC, I'd have to fight at welterweight probably.
Yeah, what would you fight in?
I think if I was going to do it, I'd fight in middleweight because I'd obviously put on some muscle from actually working out. And
no,
then
but
I'd
you'd lose weight though.
I would not lose weight. Are you fucking dumb?
No, you'd lose weight.
Are you dumb?
You'd lose weight. Fight at featherweight, mate. Come on. Let's not take the piss here. Be the tallest featherweight in history. That'd be kind of vibes, no?
I guess I could be like the Stefan Struve of featherweight.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, moving on from the UFC. Good UFC chat. Do you want to move on to footy?
Footy, yep. Footy.
Footy.
NRL. The Immortal Hall of Fame happened this week. Wednesday. And obviously all of basically the legends that we grew up watching, the Queensland losers, all got inducted in to the Hall of Fame.
Great.
Which was good to see.
No one cares.
Well, it was nice to see,
Yeah, fucking, it was a bunch of Queens. That's the problem. But was Cooper Cronk?
Yeah.
I thought there was like a thing where he wasn't. Nominated for an immortal. Like that was Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't nominated.
They all went in together, Billy, Cooper, and Cameron.
I know, but I thought like Billy and Cameron was
Cooper wasn't nominated for Immortal,
which was crazy to me.
He's clearly not as good as those two.
I think he's better than Billy. Maybe hot take as a Roosters fan. Maybe that's a hot take. The fact that he won us 2 premierships. Maybe hot take.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cooper Cronk, like arguably, like I just rate him highly. Like in terms of a halfback,
I think everyone rates him highly, but
like who's a better halfback all time other than Joey Johns?
Thurston.
No way.
What?
I wouldn't have Thurston over Cronk.
Really?
No way.
I think 4 Dally M's he won.
Because he played on the Cowboys with fucking nobodies. Morgan was his best player.
I mean, I think most people would take Thurston.
Billy Smith. See, that's the problem with Dally M's. Fucking bullshit award. The fact that...
Well, Teddy's probably going to win it this year. Or Hughes.
No, probably, yeah. I'd say Jerome probably wins it. But it's a fucking bullshit award. If you're on a crap team and you're... Like, Jack Whiten won it.
Yeah.
Like, has Jack Whiten ever been the best player in the competition?
No.
Has he ever been top 5?
He was very good at his peak.
But is he ever...
I would say he was the best 6 in the comp at one point.
Like, who won last year? Nico Hines.
No, it was Ponga.
No. Oh, yeah, sorry. Ponga won it. Got confused. Nico was the year before?
Yeah.
Has either of those two ever been top 5 in the league?
No.
It's my... Like, very good players. Like, but the award is geared towards if you're good on a bad team. But they don't reward guys like Cooper Cronk who are great on great teams.
And now, even more so than it used to be, it's geared towards hot streak of man of the match performances because you get 6 points for a man of the match. If you string 3 or 4 of those together, you're just clear. Whereas if you're on the Panthers and you're getting lots of 2s and 4s, you're not going to match it to one guy that's getting all these man of the matches. So
I don't agree with that award. So yeah, personally, Cooper Cronk I think was a bit hard done by not getting that sort of, even though he wasn't. None of them got the immortal tag.
Yeah. So I mean, hard done by. He'll probably be nominated next time though.
But no, Ron Coote got it.
He did. Ron Coote.
Has he been passed? He's been passed up quite a while, hasn't he?
Everyone was saying I think it was his 4th or 5th time being nominated. It's hard to speak on because obviously I've never seen him play. So
you weren't around then?
No, but he's a Roosters legend, so you should know about him.
Roosters and Rabbitohs legend. Obviously, played at the Rabbitohs, wanted to earn actual money, and then went to the Roosters. So that's how it that's how it goes. Actually, legend of both clubs.
So it's hard to sort of nitpick. I mean,
I can't hate on. Like, I'm not going to say no. He was so washed. He was so
look,
bad.
I probably would have had Cam Smith.
Like, you can't even watch like highlights of the guy. Like, you can't. Like, I can't even get. Like, I've got to read a book to find out how.
But it does. Yeah, it does bring into question how some people were saying there should be a limit on how many times you can be nominated for it. And say if you don't get it in 3 chances, then you're out.
I did hear that. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I
don't mind it because it's meant to be this ultra elite club. Like, it's not like the Hall of Fame. You know, Hall of Fame. If you're really good, you're going to get in. But
yeah, Matt Moylan might get in the Hall of Fame.
I think he might miss out. Just,
but yeah. I don't hate it, but look, it's tough. I think I see both sides. I think obviously I don't know what he was like as a player. Because obviously didn't watch him, but he does seem like he was quite an impressive guy. Won multiple premierships back in the day. So it's hard to hate on. I mean, look, on this podcast before, I've been quite critical of, not critical, but like sort of a bit skeptical of sort of those, especially in the NBA, with how people rank Wilt Chamberlain like the 3rd best player of all time, and it's like, come on, mate, let's take the piss. He's Andre Drummond in the modern NBA.
But this is not that where it's giving someone a ranking.
Yeah.
It's like you can recognize Wilt Chamberlain as having him as an immortal of basketball because he was the best player in the world for his time.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing to say he's the greatest of all time, which he obviously isn't.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I don't necessarily hate it.
I mean, look, it's I'm not that big of a deal. Now, obviously, there was a bit of sort of criticism from guys like Joey
for not being included.
And I agree. I think if it's sort of framed as like this club, club of greats, I feel like it should be not up to the club, but like it should get a stamp of approval from the people within inside. I think it's...
Yeah.
I get it. It's if the NRL wants to nominate people, or say, hey, this is who we're nominating, what do you think about it? I get it from that point of view, but just to announce and not let them know is a bit... it's a bit weird.
It is, but I don't think they... It's weird because I think it's an honour to be in it. I don't think you should necessarily be entitled to be like, oh, we're in it now, we get to decide who else is in it.
Yeah.
But I think for sure they could have been consulted. I wouldn't really want them to be the ones deciding it because a lot of things like bias is just going to come into it. I mean, they all work with the players. They're all at Channel 9 or Fox. They're all friends with them. So if they were choosing, would Ronnie Coote have got in? I don't think so.
You don't think they would have chosen?
No.
Well, yeah, that's why I agree in not choosing, because then it allows bias to get in there.
Yeah.
Like if
Joey is for sure picking Freddie.
Yeah, like Freddie Fittler, Matty Johns is getting in there. Danny Badiris is getting in there. No, I agree it shouldn't be chosen by them, but I think it should be sort of accepted by... Like, it should be proposed by the NRL and...
or just give them a vote. Like, I don't know how many people vote on it.
Yeah, like give them the choice of like 2 people and they have to decide on who.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure they could have been better with that, but, you know, it's a minor thing. Doesn't really impact my life too much.
No,
but
I heard about it when it was happening, so it's not like the biggest thing, but yeah, it's important for those guys anyway, so I think it's important that they sort of sort it out for future.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to actually outline a structure of how it works, because it seems like at the moment it's just like they forget about it for a few years and they're like, oh shit, we should announce a new immortal, and they just do it.
Yeah, it should be done like, I think it should be every 5 years.
Yeah, like 2 people every 5 years.
Oh no, 1 person every 5 years.
1 person. See, that is so hard.
Yeah, but
to get in.
Well, I think it should be. I think the Hall of Fame is for like,
because 1 every 5 years,
like Greg Inglis shouldn't be an immortal, but he should be in the Hall of Fame.
But 1 every 5 years, like Lockyer still isn't in.
I don't think Lockyer should be an immortal.
Really?
No. Sorry, in Brisbane, like
because
1
every 5 years, like Smith will get in, but then
Cameron
Thurston
Smith
probably can't, Cronk probably can't,
Yep.
Slater probably can't. Because Cleary will be next, probably.
No.
He will be.
I think Cronk. No, I don't think Cronk should get in. I don't think Lockie should get in. I don't think Thurston should get in. I think Billy Smith. Not yeah, Billy Smith.
Billy Smith.
Egan Butcher.
Nat Butcher.
Yeah. Siwa Wong. No, I think Billy Slater and Cameron Smith should get in.
Billy Slater?
Yeah.
You just said Cooper Cronk's ahead of him.
What? But that's my opinion. I know that's not consensus.
Okay.
Like, I have an opinion, but I know consensus. Like, I think in terms of it, we're talking about the pacing of it. Like, I think if you have one every 5 years, you've got plenty of time.
I think Lockyer is ahead of Slater.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Lockyer was not the same.
He was the guy, the captain of the majority of that Queensland dynasty. Won multiple comps at the Bronx.
I get it, but I just don't think he's on that level. I think
really.
I think there's a difference between, the likes of Cameron Smith and Billy Slater, and I just think there's just a slight difference. There is a difference. I think Lockie's in the group with Thurston and Cronk, but I just don't think he's in the tier above him for that sort of era.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, but yeah, if it's once every 5 years, a lot of those guys will
There's
struggle.
a reason why Joey Johns was put in and Lockyer wasn't when they played at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to have Joey ahead of Lockyer.
But I think Joey and Cameron Smith are on the same level, and Billy Smith are on the same. Keep on saying fucking Billy Smith. Billy Slater's on the same level. I think they're in that level, and then below them is Thurston, Lockyer, and Cronk. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad take, but obviously highly debatable.
Yeah,
and we got to find.
I hate Cameron Smith, so there you go.
Yeah, but I respect
as a
greatness.
player.
I respect greatness.
Nice guy.
Who's does New South Wales? We don't even have any.
No,
I mean, Laurie Daly, is he close?
No.
Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, Gus Gould. You could get Gus Gould in there. Maybe as as a background.
Do coaches go in?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, they obviously Wayne Bennett just got into the Hall of Fame. He didn't go to the ceremony.
What?
Pretty disrespectful.
Yeah. What do you think about the Dolphins? Actually, I did want to touch on it a bit.
I think they suck.
Well, ever since Wayne said he was going to South, they've absolutely took a nosedive. Now, look, to be fair, they took a nosedive last year around the same time. But
yeah, I just think they maximise what they could do, to be honest. They don't have a great team. They've got a great player in the Hammer.
Yeah.
And Katoa's very good. But, Cody Nikorima is your 6.
I think he's that bad. I think
he's been thrown around the league like a blunt, so...
Weak. I think it's more the forwards. I think...
Yeah, the forwards are old.
If you look at the backs, I think the backs are more... Katoa, Farmworth, Bostock, Hammer. That's really, really good. But the forwards are the Bromwich brothers. And fucking...
Well, yeah, they're missing Flegler and Gilbert, who are their two best forwards,
and the bold guy, what's his name? Mark Nichols. That's their forward pack.
Yeah. So
Kafusi. They've just got a bunch of old geezers running around.
Yeah. So I think they've...
Plath is good, though. I like Plath.
Plath, yeah, he's good. And they've still got a shot at finals if they win.
But they were they were locked in top 4.
They were, but they weren't a top 4
Well,
team.
it was not locked in, but they were...
They were overachieving, I think.
I rail on their players. I think they're good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it also just takes time for a new franchise to be good.
Yeah.
I can't... Yeah.
They've got a lot of good young talent coming through, which is the main thing. Bostock's look good. Hammer's only 22, 23-ish.
Yeah, he's crazy. I mean, you see that chase on the Fox? Holy.
Oh, Fox looks slow there. Jesus. He's
still
done.
quick, though, but...
He's done.
He's done?
If he's your winger next year, I would be shocked. Come on, he's
trying to re-sign apparently,
but he looks done.
He's still good though. He's not as quick as he once was, but
he looks like he's bulky. He looks like
he is bulky up top.
He just looks a lot he's not the same. He's just not. And to be fair, that's fine. But that you're winning game. The Bulldogs winning game, so you can't really blame him. Anyway, I wanted to talk briefly on the the developments after last night. Obviously, Para, I thought, were going to win, and this event would not happen. But they choked the game away again, so good to see.
Yeah.
Now it is the Wooden Spoon Bowl. The Spoon Bowl next week.
You've heard of the Super Bowl.
This is even better. The stars have aligned. I don't know what kind of witchcraft went into the draw this year, where someone at the NRL building predicted that the Parramatta Eels and the West Tigers would be neck and neck.
Well,
at the bottom. At the end of the year.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jenny from reception could have predicted the Tigers, but...
Well, that's the thing. You know the Tigers are going to be down there, so you got to predict someone else.
Yeah.
It's rogue to pick the Eels at the start of the season.
Yeah, it was.
So, what's the situation? So, essentially, are they on the same point?
Because one of them has a bye, right?
No, I don't know.
So, they're currently on the same points. Tigers for and against is way worse. But I'm pretty sure the Tigers have a bye.
No, I thought they were...
Yeah. Tigers have a bye next week. So next week, Tigers have a bye. So they're going to go into...
that's
So they're going to go into the bye 2 points ahead.
But
if Eels win... Yeah.
It's so bad. The Tigers' points difference is so bad. So if the Eels win... okay. Yeah.
So it's last round of the season is the Spoon Bowl.
Insane. Can't wait for that.
Friday, 6 o'clock.
We're going to get around the pub, watch the Spoon Bowl.
Into South Roosters.
Yeah, cheeky. But yeah, the Spoon Bowl. Who do you think wins it?
Who do I think wins? It's very hard to call.
By winner, I
mean
wins.
They're both incredibly shit. So it's hard to call.
It would have been really funny if Trent Barrett because of how much the players loved him. If they gave him the coaching job. Could you imagine if they gave him the coaching job 4 months ago when they looked okay and they were and the players loved him and everything, and then
Trent Barrett,
and then it's the end of the season. They're like, I wish we could get out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, for the Eels to win the Spoon would be diabolical with the players they've got. I know Moses has missed a lot of time, but
the players are still on. They've still got good players.
Yeah, I mean Gutherson,
their
Brown,
halves has not been the problem. It's
their forwards have been aging. They look old, really. Campbell Gillard's been good the last few weeks, but he's had a down year for his standards. Junior Paulo has been average for a few years, to be honest. So they're struggling in the forward area. Who's their 9? I feel like they never really recovered from losing Marnie.
His name is someone else's name, if that makes sense.
Is it Lussick? Yeah.
There you go.
Joey Lussick?
Yeah, they're just... I don't know. Their team is fringe top 8. It's not like a Parramatta team in previous years where it's top 4 fighting for premierships. Even if Moses is healthy, I still think they're fighting for the 8 in most years.
Yeah.
But I think it was a shocking decision to sack their coach. I think their coach was pretty good. I think most people recognise that. And they've just absolutely lost it all. I mean, their contracts are in absolute shambles.
Oh.
Moses is probably going to leave. Dylan Brown's probably going to leave.
They give when they sign players, they give them a multiple choice contract.
Yeah, it's look, the contract's going to be bad on our end, but great on your end. Sign it. It's sure, mate.
Yeah, it's zero lock-in.
Zero benefit for us, all the benefit for you,
and a lot of money for you.
Yeah, it's they pay more than anyone else, and they also give them the clauses.
Yeah.
It's no one else is offering them these clauses, but they're just sure. Everyone was stunned when Dylan Brown signed a 7-year contract with.
Yeah, and it's
why would he commit his so much of his future to the Eels? Yeah. It's well, maybe because he can get out in 2 years.
Well, it first came out Stefano was, I think, the first person that it became public had these sorts of options. And then it was Dylan Brown at the Eels has it as well. It was Mitchell Moses has it as well. Blaze Talangi has it as well.
The only person that doesn't have it, Clint Gutherson. You can't get rid of that guy.
Oh, yeah. And he's an elite centre as well.
Did you see him on the weekend? Just get absolutely blitzed by Tristan Saylor.
Oh, yeah.
He was running straight and he missed it. It's not like he missed him out of effort. He missed it.
That's the first try Tristan Saylor scored in 5 years.
He's looked absolutely horrendous the whole year. And then against Clint Gutherson, he scores an absolute wonder try.
Clint. But you have to feel sorry for him. He does his best.
He looks like a mummy. He's got his legs wrapped up to his fucking hips.
Boy, in tattoos.
No, in fucking leg wraps. He's just absolutely cooked.
He's good at I will say he's good at diffusing the high ball. He's good at that.
Yeah, he's a real grafter. He knows how to work hard.
Shout out to Clint. But the game itself, yes. Tigers, they've lost Buller for the season, so that'll be...
But they won.
They did win.
Without him.
And they've got Coruscant, who I'd say is probably going to be the best player in the game. So, honestly, I just want to go with the Tigers.
I want the Tigs to get up. I feel bad for the Tigs.
I think, is it at Leichhardt? No, I think it's at Campbelltown.
I just feel bad for them. They've been grafting so much. They've been crap for so long. We have a mate who's a fucking Tigs fan. I think he's given up. I know he's given up. Yeah, it's just I mean, it used to be like embarrassing for them to finish 9th every year. Now they don't even get that luxury. They just 16th every year. Benji Marshall, not done a great job, I think. When you take 3-month holidays in the middle of the season, it's not the best idea.
But it started decently well. I remember they won a few games at the start of the year, and everyone's going, oh, this is some revolutionary modern coaching where you can play golf every day and get wins. And then it was like, oh, no, actually you can't.
Yeah.
But the Tigers, I've seen people like Matty Johns comparing the Tigers this year to the Dogs last year.
Come on.
And saying, oh, they've got Luai coming, they've got, some good young players coming through.
That's what happened. That's the worst thing about the Tigers, though. Everyone hypes them up after they win. But next week, they immediately lose by 40 points. Like, everyone's like, they're on the come up. And it's like, no, they're absolute pony. But the Dogs last year had actual players. Like, they have, I get Luai's coming in. What else do they have? Taruva? Is that it?
Who we've just dropped, but...
Yeah, Taruva. Oh, great. So him and Charlie Staines can be the skinniest fucking wingers in the history of the...
Mate, Charlie Staines, it is astonishing that guy's still playing first grade.
He won't be next year. They actually got another one of the Bulldogs players. It's the Skeleton.
Skeleton, yeah. He's decent.
He's a lot bigger than Charlie Staines, to be fair. So
yeah, he's good.
But look, Luai... I think Luai and what's his name? Galvin is a good combo. I think they'll go actually pretty well. But again, they just got so many bad players in the forwards and in
they're losing Stefano.
It's just going to be I don't think they'll get wooden spoon next year, but they'll be 13th, 14th. They'll be probably where the Warriors are.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel like they'd take that.
I don't hate it, but it's like, are they going to be challenging for top 4? No shot.
No, no. But would you? No one would have said the Dogs were either.
Yeah, but it took multiple years of good recruitment for the Dogs to get out of where they were. People forget they brought in Addo Carr fucking 4 years ago. It's not been an overnight kind of thing, and it's really taken sort of the culmination of bringing guys like Kickow in, and then sort of this season having a massive squad overhaul of getting out the losers essentially and bringing in players that know how to win. And then obviously having the creme de la creme of a Crichton coming on top of that massive overhaul of players, I think has sort of shifted it for them. But I think the Tigers need to probably follow in suit. They need to look at the Bulldogs and what they did. Say, look, if we see talented players, we need to bring them in. But when we get an opportunity to massively overhaul the bums, we need to fucking do it.
Yeah, but I don't know who can they overhaul. They've not.
Well,
no one wants their players. They were shopping O'Sullivan, is it, the halfback?
Well, it's not even them. It's not even the shit experienced players that are bad. It's the nobodies. The Bulldogs for years were trotting out absolute nobodies. The Tigers, I watched that game. I couldn't name half the team. Absolute nobodies. And look, some of those nobodies are young players who could have futures in the NRL, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to be playing reserve grade in 2 years. So I think it's just one of them where they need to sort of accumulate these star players, and then once they see an opportunity on the market and they have sort of contracts free up, they can sort of let guys go and bring in sort of 5 or 6. So, I think the Bulldog strategies sort of work. Now the coach has to be right is a key thing as well. Serraldo, very well regarded prior to obviously coming to the Bulldogs in the Penrith system. probably created the Penrith system, if we're honest.
The defensive side, I think, is what he.
Well, yeah, and look,
created.
the Bulldogs have a sort of a great defensive system now. So, is Benji that? I don't think so. Look, there are different coaches and there are different styles of coaching, but what works, unless you're the Roosters, what works in the NRL these days is having a great defensive team that can kick long and can put pressure on the opponents. Now, the Roosters are a different fish.
Roosters usually are a defensive team.
Yeah, and previous years we have been, but this year, I mean, we're just over beating teams with talent, essentially. So, but you look at Penrith, you look at the Bulldogs, you look at Storm. They're beating the willpower of the team. They're beating them through not making mistakes, being a great defensive team, line speed, and capitalising on great field position, and not making stupid defensive mistakes. So I think that's how you sort of change it around. And I don't think Benji is that coach. He doesn't have any coaching experience. So I mean, what kind of
it's a tough gig. No one really wants to go to the Tigers.
It's a very tough gig. It's not. No one's saying it's not tough on him, but you've got to expect that
it's hard when he has had no prior experience to just throw him in as an NRL coach.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was kind of a hidden hope on a club legend type of appointment, similar to when Freddie coached the Roosters, I feel like, back in the day. But again, I feel like a lot of coaches would turn down the Tigers job at this point. You know, I don't know if you offered it to Brad Arthur, maybe he'd take it.
Yeah, I think Brad Arthur's a good appointment. I think Brad Arthur would take it. And I think a guy like that who's turned around... People forget how bad the Eels were. The Eels were the Tigers.
They won 3 spoons in a row.
The Eels were literally the Tigers, where they are now. And he turned them into a premiership contender. Now, he didn't win, but he took them to a grand final. Pretty sure if you talk to a Tigers fan right now, you tell them, would you rather be the Eels for the past 4 years, excluding this year, obviously, or would you want to be yourself? What's the choice?
Yeah. Look, it has been a hard road for Tigers. You just have to feel for them. It's so hard. It's crazy how the NRL is meant to be sort of this equal playing field with the salary cap. It's meant to be this ultimate equalizer. But it's still it's more than any other sport even, more than the NBA, Premier League, obviously it's the same teams every year. But in the NRL, especially the past 5 years, it is the same 3 teams that are good, and that's it.
The problem of having no draft.
Yeah, but the salary cap is meant to sort of overhaul that. But it's so systems based.
Yeah, but
that it's all about.
But that's what happens when you have a salary cap and no draft. That is essentially what happens because teams have no option of getting those young, unless you have a great academy like the Bulldogs have done. There's no shot that you actually move up, because every team is building through their academy and got a good academy going. So you're not going to create a point of difference there unless you get the star players, and you're not going to get the star players if you're crap, and you're going to lose your good up and coming players if they're good to the good team. So. Yeah, I think it's tough. I think, look, if you look in the AFL, they have a draft, so that's why it's a lot easier for teams to go up and down.
But it's a bit of a weird draft. It's different to the NBA. Like
that's why.
If a player is from your junior academy, you get like rights to them or something,
or you get the opportunity bid. I don't know.
It's a bit different, but
I think that system might work well in the NRL. I don't like how the AFL does the draft because I think it's a bit silly with that sort of system, but. I think with the junior pathways, you want to get as many clubs investing in it as possible as well. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, I guess. So,
but as a Panthers fan, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
as how it's going.
Created the whole team through the youth academy, so fair play to them.
The game's the game.
Yeah, essentially, and I don't know. People that complain about that, it's like if your club was run. I mean, look at the fucking Bulldogs couldn't get anyone.
Yeah.
Couldn't get absolutely anyone to go there.
It's possible. You've
just got to
get Gus Gould.
Smart recruitment, and no one's going to deny it's tougher for, the Roosters. It's tough. No one's going to say that it's tough for the Roosters to win than the fucking Tigers. Of course, it's not. But the Bulldogs have proven that if you recruit well, and you develop your young players, and you develop them from very young up until first grade system, then you'll do well. So I think that's just a bit of complaining and just bad management. I mean, the Tigers have been run so poorly. You look at the management that they've had there over the past century. It's been horrendous. So
yeah, it's an awful club.
Well, I
Dirty
didn't say
manager.
that.
But yeah, exciting game coming up. Probably going to be a sellout between the two lowest placed
this
teams.
This whole chat about salary cap started from the Spoon Bowl, which is the best thing to ever happen in the history of the NRL.
Yeah,
make sure you watch it, folks. It is going to be all time.
Must see TV.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. It was a bit of a long one today, a bit of a rant, but hopefully you enjoyed. Watch out for United tonight. Get keen, and like and subscribe. See ya.
Peace out.